Hi everyone. On the 30th of June 2020, the Irish Government introduced Statutory Instrument number 234 of 2020, the purpose of which was to 1. Provide for restrictions on the numbers of persons attending indoor or outdoor events, such as mass, and 2. Restrict access by the public to certain businesses and services. Now, the businesses referred to under point 2 above are any business or service selling or supplying intoxicating liquor for consumption on the premises unless a substantial meal is also ordered. We have all heard a great deal over the past month about the government's intention to introduce laws which would prohibit pubs and restaurants admitting people into their venues unless A. that person consumes a substantial meal, and B. that person stays no longer than 105 minutes in the establishment. Firstly, let me say that I have seen no law legislating for the 105-minute rule. However, the government have sought to define under Statutory Instrument number 234 the definition of a substantial meal. I have never seen anything like this in legislation before. To say that it is ridiculous and astounding would be an understatement. So what do the government define a substantial meal to be? A. Such as might be expected to be served as a main midday or main evening meal or as a main course at either such meal, and B. that is of a kind having regard to all the circumstances for which it would be reasonable to charge a sum that is not less than €9. We can at least say that to date the government have crouched their implementation of Covid-19 laws in some form of scientific and medical data, however flawed. However, what scientific or medical data could possibly exist to support the notion that a member of the public is less likely to contract Covid-19 if they ingest a meal worth exactly €9 or more? As citizens of this country, we have allowed the Irish government free rein to restrict and dismantle our fundamental freedoms, such that they have now reached a point where they are, without challenge, enacting Covid laws that even the most compliant person would have to admit have no basis in science or medicine. In my opinion, the government have consistently displayed their willingness and desire to systematically erode the human rights of Irish citizens through the Covid laws and under the guise of what they have defined to be the greater good. At this point, you should ask yourself, what will the next interpretation of the greater good look like, and how will it affect your life? The current interpretation of the greater good has allowed our elderly to die alone, has decimated business, has turned the structured lives of our children upside down, and has created a national debt so acute that we will be paying it back for years to come. Given that the government can create rules that legislate for who may enter a premises on the basis of how much money that person has to spend, there is nothing they can't legislate for. Thanks for listening.